they portrayed themselves as short men. So I asked him and he's like, they were dwarfs. Yeah. That's new to me.
Yeah. The fish here inside, eh?
Mm.
The only town of Mombasa.
Oh my god. So nice.
Yeah, so that's where they were shooting the ships. That in 52, when Kenya received Queen Elizabeth, that lady came and stood here.
Really?
Yes.
Just last week?
Just last week.
Wow. I mean the Watchtower.
Somebody used to urinate from here, it just went out. We are still using the corals to make our buildings.
Hi guys, welcome back to another vlog. Welcome. I'm still in Mombasa, Kenya, and today I'm going to be exploring Fort Jesus. I picked up this pretty flower, so I'll decorate myself like I'm from Mombasa. We've gotten a guide, and this is Steve. We are going to be getting inside to make payments and then start the tour.
Alright, so welcome to Fort Jesus.
Thank you.
My name is Anthony Kahindi. I am a licensed tour guide here. So this is Fort Jesus. Welcome to Fort Jesus. This fort was actually made over here by the Portuguese government. That was towards the end of the 1600s. And the main purpose actually was to defend the old port of Mombasa, where trade used to take place, and Portuguese also wanted to get chances. They wanted to secure the Indian Ocean trade routes. Yeah, and this is the main entrance. At the top of the main entrance, the fort is written in the Portuguese language, and this is the very difficult Portuguese language. Even some of the Portuguese who are coming here today as tourists find it very difficult to read. This is written in the 1600s.
And I was about to ask you what it means.
It's a brief history about the fort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, welcome.
What's this?
These are some of the weapons the Portuguese or the officers were using. We call them cannons.
Cannons.
Yeah, so today we are left with only two types of the cannons. We have the Portuguese cannons and we have the British cannons. Because after this structure was completed and before it was given over to the Kenyan people after Kenya became a republic, at least Fort Jesus was attacked and held by three major powers at different times. We had the Portuguese who were here for 1 century, and then later Portuguese were attacked by the Omani Arab officers, and the Arabs lived here for 2 centuries. Then finally we had the British people. So we have Portuguese cannons and the British cannons.
So this is a Portuguese cannon.
A Portuguese cannon, and it's made from cast iron.
Okay. Guys, this is my ticket. I didn't know, but if you're watching this vlog, you'll know. You can only pay with M-Pesa. I paid 400 because I'm East African. Kenyans pay 200. If you're not in the East African region, 1,500, right? 1,200 Kenya shillings. This is what it looks like.
What does it look like?
Okay, like this is what it looked like from above.
Definitely. This is an aerial photo of Fort Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you take that aerial photo from a plane, basically Fort Jesus has a shape of a human body. It's like a man lying on the ground and probably facing the sky.
I see it.
Yeah, and we can also say it looks like how Jesus Christ was crucified at the cross, or it looks like a cross. Hence the names Fort Jesus. Portuguese basically had 3 names or 3 reasons why they named this facility after the name of Christ. The first reason was Portuguese were Christians, typical Catholics. So whatever the Portuguese were doing, they did everything under the name of Jesus Christ. Second reason, Portuguese also wanted to get chances to spread Christianity along the coast of Kenya, and they very much managed, because today really Mombasa looks like an Islamic city because of the Omani Arabs, but we still have so many Christians. So this was much fueled by the Portuguese, and some of the early missionaries who were coming here, majority came from Europe. And finally, the main reason as to why Jesus was mentioned actually here was because of the shape. It looks like how Christ himself was crucified at the cross. But there is a slight difference between Christ and the fort. Look at the legs over there.
Yeah.
The legs were kept separate, but the legs of Christ were closed before they were hit on the cross.
Yeah.
So the whole area, it covers 2.5 hectares of land, and the walking might take us between 40 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
History about Fort Jesus. And it basically talks about the major powers that held Fort Jesus at different times. We had the Portuguese who were here from there, they made it 1593, and Portuguese were here till 1698. This is a period of 1 century. Then officially, 1698, the Portuguese were attacked by the Omani Arab officers, and by good luck or by bad luck, the Portuguese lost the building to the Arabs. So Arabs were here from 1698 till 1895. But particularly in the 1800, after the Berlin Conference that regulated trade and colonization in Africa, now Kenya was won by the British. So when the British came here, and after these people started colonizing Kenya, they came and took over Fort Jesus from the Omani Arabs through negotiation. Arabs and British never fought. Officially, British took over the structure from the Arabs in 1698, and they immediately converted it from a military barracks into one of the first Kenyan government prisons. Most of the people who were being detained over here were the Kenyan freedom fighters. You know, after these people started colonizing Kenya, we had Kenyans who went ahead and formed the rebellion groups. They were trying to resist from whatever the British were doing to us. It's only Kenyans who were hindered by weapons, but British had the King's African rifles. So most of the freedom fighters over here were shot and died, but those who survived were officially arrested and detained over here at a prison. So the prison served in these 2 years. To the tip. So this machine was planted over here by the British in the 1800, and when the fort was a prison, this machine used to count prisoners. Whenever the junior officers were taking a group of prisoners for money to work out, so this machine recorded. Whenever they were bringing them, they counted them through this one over here. So the chief warden used to have a key. He used to come here in the evenings, open here and open there, and read the numbers. So these numbers have to correspond. If they don't, then some answers were to be answered by the junior officers. You took out 20 prisoners and you brought in 18. Where are the 2? Or maybe you took a brother and left them out. Now it becomes a problem. So today, we are still using the same gadgets to count our tourists, not prisoners anymore. Yes, just walk in here because you paid the ticket. Have a look at this one here. As you walk in, yeah,
It's going to count?
definitely, as you see. Okay, that's it. And come this side.
Aerial view.
So this is a very nice aerial view of the museum of the fort. Yeah. So we have the head part in the front lines, we have the arms, or the 2 hands, we have the body up to here, then finally we have the 2 legs.
Yeah.
So the only difference we have between Christ on the cross and for Jesus are the legs. They were separated, but the legs of Christ were closed before they were closed.
At what point did we enter?
We came through here. This is the main entrance. Yeah, we are now standing in front of the main entrance over here.
Okay.
But basically this building had 1 main entrance and 3 outlets. So this is the main entrance. In the front lines, we had 2 underground tunnels that were dug, and all of them opened very close to the Indian Ocean because the blue color is the ocean. So these tunnels were used to bring in supplies like foodstuff, medicine, and probably weapons. But all of these tunnels are now locked because of security. And then in the left hand, there was another tunnel that opened very close to the waters. This was an escape tunnel, secret passage. Whenever these people were attacked, and if they see war was too tough on their side, some of them used to sneak through here. So whenever the officers fell sick, most of them used to get medication from here. Right, and then at the middle, we had a church, a Roman Catholic church, because Portuguese were Catholics, but the church collapsed and fell because of age. We just have the foundation. And then behind over here, we have sources of water. Yeah, because anywhere somebody goes, water is life. So this is like a cistern. It's an underground tank that was dug by the Portuguese soldiers, and it went to a depth of 17 meters. So that hole was plastered. It was like an underground tank. And Portuguese kept gutters from the roof of the church to the cistern. So whenever heavy rains came, they were harvesting rainwater. But immediately after this structure was taken by the Arabs, Arabs came and found the Portuguese assisting with water, but they never trusted that water. They assumed poison because these people were enemies. So there was no way Arabs were to eat or drink anything left by the Portuguese. It was easy for them to be poisoned. So Arabs came behind and dug their own well. So this is a well that was dug by the Arabs, but Arabs got very salt water because of the Indian Ocean. So those are sources of water. And then today, just around here, we have a discovery. We discovered a grave of the Portuguese priest in January 1990. That guy was shot by the Omani Arabs. Can you see where we have that shelter? There's a shelter over there, made from the coconut fibers like this one. Over there, where that man is walking. Yeah. So there is a grave under that shelter. It's open. You will see even the skeleton, but we are displaying a replica, not the original skeleton because of respect.
Okay.
So I think we can start our tour in the front lines.
Okay.
That side.
Oh, it's big.
Yeah, this is quite a big structure. And today we are within Mombasa Island, and the whole of the island is officially uplifted by coral stones. So 60% of Fort Jesus was actually carved from the coral stones. Let's go down here. So these are some of the tunnels that were dug to bring in supplies, particularly the weapons. All weapons were brought through here.
It's scary.
Yeah, that is how it is. And the tour for Jesus is like Slim Possible. At the end of the tour, you at least lose 1 kilogram.
Really?
Yeah.
For 40 minutes, who loses 1 kg in 40 minutes?
1 kg. So these are all coral stones, as you see. And the people who were used as labor to cut out these corals were the blacks, Bantus. So Portuguese came and hired 4,000 youths from nearby villages who were within Mombasa. So these are the people who were used to cut up the corals. And Fort Jesus took 3 years to be completed. They started in 1593 and they completed the structure in 1596.
There are Bantus in Mombasa.
I am also a Bantu. I was born here, originally brought up here. My parents are Bantus. There are so many Bantus in Kenya. Yeah.
Why did I think they're in Uganda? Anyway, I think my history is failing me now.
They are all over the world. They are all over Africa. So this is one of the armories. This was a tunnel to bring weapons after they were offloaded from the ships, and all weapons were hidden over here. So this is called an armory, according to the Portuguese, according to the military languages. So we had cannons, we had the rifles, we had the explosives, the gunpowder, and we also had the bullets. We call them cannonballs. And this was particularly carved from the coral stones, as you can see. These are pure corals. Yeah, so from there, the fort was carved up to date. We've never detected any crack that might threaten stability of the structure because the whole foundation lies on top of the coral stones.
Wow.
Yeah. And we have 2 rooms over here. If you look at that side, they were trying to make something like a 3rd room, but the more they went deeper, the more the corals became hard. So they just despaired and left it the way it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Is anyone trying to build modern structures with coral? Because now it seems coral is so strong.
In fact, today the island of Mombasa is at risk of submerging back to the waters of the Indian Ocean.
Really?
Because people are cutting the coral stones looking after construction materials. All the buildings you saw in town are made using the corals.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. We are still using the corals to make our buildings. These are the main materials.
Okay.
The whole coast of Kenya is fond of coral stones. Okay. So I want us to go and see the battleground over there. And on that side, you can clearly see the Indian Ocean from the top.
From up there.
Yeah.
Okay. As we're going up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In 1952, when Kenya received Queen Elizabeth, that lady came and stood here.
Really?
Yes, 1952.
Okay.
And then she went
Guys,
back.
I am standing where the Queen stood. If I can get royalty by association.
By standing where
Yeah, by standing where she stood, I've just gotten some.
You've gotten something.
Yeah.
Right.
I see so many school students.
Yeah.
They come here for tours.
So this is in the Kenyan syllabus of history. So during vacations like April, August and the 2 months towards the end of the year, we normally receive so many schools. Yeah, primary schools, secondary schools, universities, colleges. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just peep through here.
I'll be able to see that.
So this is now a clear view of the old town of Mombasa. Yeah. Have you heard of the Swahilis?
People.
Yeah, the Swahili people.
Yeah.
So Swahilis are like mixed, half Arab and half Bantu. The first time we had Omani Arabs within Mombasa was in the 1200. And Arabs never brought women from their country because sailing in the past was basically done by men. So Arabs came, only men over here. They came and married from the black women we had in Mombasa, particularly the Bantus. So those who were given birth after that intermarriage, we now know them as the Swahilis. So today, most of the Swahilis have officially inherited so many things from their fathers. They inherited religion. Most of them are Muslims. They also inherited languages. Most Swahilis understand Arabic. So once you go there, you'll hear the greetings is Assalamu alaikum, not Jambo. Yeah. They also inherited a lot of dressing codes and cooking as. There is a meal called biryani, we have a meal called pilau. We never had this in Africa, though we had rice, but we were cooking that thing in a different way. But after these traders came, they brought us a lot of spices. Yeah, that's why we had those meals today. And once we go there, you'll see Swahili ladies putting on the hijabs. Yeah, that's a Swahili dressing. They are saying in the Holy Book of Quran, females are supposed to be covered all over to avoid attraction for men. So they went for the hijabs, and most of the hijabs we have here are blacks, because black is opaque, you cannot see through blacks. Yeah, you cannot see through black. Okay. Yeah, so that is now the native home of the Swahilis. Okay. That's where the intermarriage took place, and that's where the Swahilis were given birth. Okay. Yeah.
Guys, we'll check out Old Town. That will be a whole different video. So subscribe, stay tuned, and if you're enjoying this video so far, give it a thumbs up.
Okay. So these are some of the urinals, eh?
Oh.
It's a P for the officers.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody used to urinate from here, it just went out.
Wow. So only men were really
only
on
men.
this.
The barracks consisted of only men soldiers.
Okay, so they only took put facilities for men.
So this is the battleground. From this corner up to that corner, this is the battleground. Eh?
Battleground.
This is a watchtower. The officers used to go in, sat over there and peeped for enemies from the deep sea. Yeah. So you can have a look.
You can go up?
Yeah, you can go up. Eh? Mind your head, because those are very short.
Okay.
Yeah. Pole pole.
From here?
Yeah. Right.
Guys, I'm in the watchtower. It's called Watchtower, right?
Yeah, that's a watchtower.
Let me show you what I can see. The view of the ocean is so nice from here. That's the Indian Ocean for you. Wow. There's also this viewpoint. And this is what it looks like.
Right.
Thank you. So this is the Portuguese.
Yeah, those are British cannons.
Okay, now how come they have British cannons?
Okay. In the 1800s, when the British were controlling Fort Jesus, they also brought their cannons. So they came and took out the Portuguese cannons and kept theirs, because theirs were more strong than the Portuguese cannons. Yeah. So there is a difference between the Portuguese and the British cannons. British cannons are somehow short, but Portuguese cannons are very long.
Yeah.
Another difference, all British cannons have something like a crown that was coated on the back. Yeah, this is a crown. And then they are also written with dates. This is a date over here, though it's fading, but the others is still very clear. And all British cannons have some handles. But if you see any cannon without this, without a date, without a crown,
It's
that's
a Portuguese. So there are only two cannons in this Fort Jesus, Portuguese and...
Types of the cannons.
Wow. Guys, this is the view from up here.
So this used to be the house of the commandant, Captain. But most of the roofs, windows and doors collapsed because of age.
What had they used to roof?
There was a very thin layer of concrete supported by timber. Yeah, so those were the roofs. Somebody was able to walk from here where we are standing to where the birds are. This was attached.
They would walk on top of the roof.
Definitely, because you were not able to see the ground at that time. This was covered.
Okay.
So we had a kitchen for the commander, and we had some rooms over here, and the bedroom for commander is here.
Okay.
That was his bedroom.
Bedroom for the commander.
So that guy used to sleep here. We have the two shelves over there. He used to keep like jewelry, some finger rings, necklaces, and this was a wardrobe. He used to hide some clothes and even rifles.
They really had wardrobes also.
Covered.
Okay. Nice.
Now the crown is very clear.
Here.
The date is also very clear.
Yeah.
The first two digits is 18. The century these things were made. These were made in the 18th century.
Month?
Yeah. Probably this was the month and the date. But I think these people were writing their dates differently from how we are writing them today. They're somehow different. But the first two digits is the century.
The view from up here, guys.
Yeah, so that's where they were shooting the ships that were sailing through here to the port.
Okay.
Okay, so this is another clear view.
Another watchtower.
A look. It's more. Basically, this is a. Right. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can even see the horizon.
The view. So nice. Imagine the people living in those apartments. They must be living the life. And the people living in those apartments. Here it's majorly trees, bit of the ocean.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. You need a photo there? Okay. Yeah, so the whole of this is the battleground of Fort Jesus. And the cannons you're seeing, these are all British cannons brought by the British.
Really put theirs at the battle area and then left the Portuguese.
Definitely. We had Portuguese cannons over here, but they came and took them out and kept theirs. Yeah, because British cannons were more powerful than the Portuguese cannons.
That's called self-love.
Yeah.
They chose to love themselves. Guys, that's a watchtower. We'll take you and you go up here. This is my guide, my tour guide. Oh, this is the head part.
Yeah. So we saw the tunnel where weapons were brought into the structure, but down here we have another tunnel. So this is a tunnel that the officers used to bring delicate supplies like food stuff and medicine. There was an outlet somewhere there. Somebody was able to walk to the waters, but that outlet was finally locked. With a wall because of security.
Okay.
Yeah.
This red house is.
This is This we had some few barracks of the Portuguese officers, but later this was converted into one of the conference halls by the Omani Arabs. So we have a conference hall down there. It is called Mazrui House or Mazrui Hall.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we are now accessing a mess for the Portuguese officers.
A mess?
Or a canteen.
Oh.
This is where the Portuguese used to come and take probably drinks, food. They were taking even alcoholic drinks. So today, we are still preserving the same area for the same purpose. It's also our refreshment area, but we don't sell alcohol as probably they used to do. We are just selling soft drinks like water, and we have some few
sodas, juice.
Yeah, definitely. Right,
Wow.
So here there is a clear view of the holy town of Mombasa.
Oh my god.
It's a nice view.
The ocean looks so good.
Yeah. So that side, that is the north of Mombasa, that's a village called Nyali. That's accessible via a bridge.
Okay.
There's a bridge called Nyali Bridge.
I've passed there.
Okay, that was made to us by Japanese in the 1980s.
Oh.
Yeah. And we are like at the apex over here because today Mombasa has two seaports. We have the Oli port that is now gazetted as a Kenyan historical port. We are still using the Oli port, but as we are using it for commercial, but light cargo like spices and a few jewelries. Yeah, and that side we have the new road to the new port. So the new port is like 500 meters that side. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the ocean.
Yes, can you see me even? Or you would rather see the view? help me hold here. Here. Yep. Okay, like just
over
there.
there.
That's what I just
Okay.
So those are residentials? People live there.
Those are apartments.
I want to live there.
Yeah. So that used to be a hotel, but now it's an apartment.
Oh, what hotel was it?
That was a Four Seasons hotel. Yeah.
Guys, wouldn't you want to live here? Would you want to live there? Who doesn't want? I feel like everyone wants. My life would be done. Okay, we can go on. Oh, they sell shells here.
Yeah, we have some shells. Many are over here.
Wow.
So these are houses of sea snails. We normally collect them in the beaches during low tide. Yeah, and these are decorated by God.
These are huge.
Yeah, very huge. We have huger than these ones.
What?
We have big ones. A shell can go up to this thing, the whole of this container.
What?
Yeah.
My friend collects shells but hers are not this big.
Oh.
Are also these from the ocean?
Yes. Those are starfishes, and this is the coral reef. This is a starfish.
How come it's dry? So it's dead?
It's dead. We normally have the fish here inside, but this is like his house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought the entire thing is the fish.
No. So this is also the left hand, and it also acted as another battleground because most of these holes you see here were for weapons.
Oh.
We had rifles and we had the big holes for cannons. Now look at this cannon here. This is a Portuguese cannon.
Yeah, it's long.
It's not very short. This one is a bit longer, and it lacks the symbols.
Yeah.
No handle, no date, and no crown.
Yeah.
This weighs like 1,500 kilos.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 1.5 tons.
Wow.
So these are big, but they fired a very short range of only 200 meters, depending on the elevation angle. So these are old versions.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that was another watchtower. Officers used to sit over there and peep for enemies to the ocean. This structure you are seeing over here used to be a kitchen for the Portuguese, because above we had chimneys. So whenever the officers were cooking, then smoke used to be seen through the 2 chimneys to the sky. But finally, during the British time, this kitchen was converted into one of the cells. And this was a cell for females. So British went above the chimneys and locked them to avoid the women from escaping. Yeah, even the roof was much reinforced by the British.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now the roof that is on is a new roof?
Yes. Yeah, Jambo. Okay. So this is this used to be the kitchen. One of the chimneys is over here. We had a chimney here. Yeah. We had other chimneys over this side. So this one accommodated like 4 cooking containers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they were cooking using firewood. And then smoke used to go through the chimney to the sky. If they were done, they took their containers full of hot food and kept them that side and served to their fellow soldiers through the open windows. So those were basically serving windows.
Okay.
Yeah. Another chimney used to be here, and that's another model for Jesus. That's another model.
These are for sale?
Yeah, these are for sale. Today, this museum is like promoting local artists. If you're an artist and you have your artifacts, you can come here, ask for like probably 1 month or 2 months. You can display your arts. If a tourist buys one of your arts, you have to give out something to the museum, and then the rest. So we are supporting local artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is also part of the kitchen.
Yeah, this is also part of So these are some of the evidences that shows we once had the Omani Arabs over here. These are Arab doors.
Oh, so when they came, they tried to decorate it to their own liking?
This is an art that came here from Oman. So these are arts from Oman.
They look good.
Yeah. So these metals you see here, decorated on the door, those were kept there for decorations. But they also symbolize wealth.
Okay.
Yeah. So if a family was rich, then that family was to decorate their doors with worthy metals. Yeah, they kept either gold, silver, bronze, or even brass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need a photo here on this door.
So these are still the same doors. And over there where those people are peeping, that was like the outlet. Escape tunnel. So whenever war was too tough, some of the officers used to sneak through there, probably fearing for their life. But that is also locked.
When they escape, they would escape into the ocean?
They used to escape out to the ocean. They swam and just ran away.
Okay.
Yeah. That is locked. Okay, so this is we have some paints or graffitis that were drawn and left by the Portuguese. There's an upper here there, don't hit yourself. Yeah. So these are original Portuguese graffitis that were drawn and left over here. They are more than 350 probably years. And if you look at them, it's like the Portuguese displayed a lot of messages. We have things to do with the religion, their culture, their lifestyle, means of transport. You can see this is a church they drew over here. We have another church over there, and ahead of it there is a grave that has a cross on top. So that symbolized Christianity on the Portuguese side. And then we have these boats. So sailing was one of their means of transport. They never used cars or aeroplanes. They were sailing. Yeah, they came through the Indian Ocean while sailing. There is fish over there. So seafoods were among the Portuguese staple foods. They used to fish from the ocean. And then we have ivory. The Portuguese were also involved in the ivory trade. They were killing our rhinos, particularly elephants, and they were taking that ivory back to Europe. Yeah. And then we have an image over here of a rat. This rat brought them a disease called Black Plague. So most of the Portuguese officers we had here died because of a plague that was caused by the rats. So these are just graffitis made by the Portuguese.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, my guide just told me, I asked him, I don't know if you see here, when they drew themselves, here, they portrayed themselves as short men. So I asked him and he's like, they were dwarfs.
Yeah.
That's new to me.
Portuguese were very short, yes, but they were very strong and very intelligent.
Are they still short currently?
No. Nowadays people have intermarried.
Oh yeah, intermarried,
so
but they
the
were
species
short.
have improved. But that time, they were very short. Have you ever seen the height of Vasco da Gama? Vasco was a very short man. Yes.
Wow. At least they drew themselves the way they were. They didn't try to make themselves tall and all.
Definitely. Okay. So this is now Mazrui Hall. It was a conference hall for the Omani Arabs. Immediately after they took over for Jesus, they came and converted this structure from a barracks into a conference hall.
The door.
Yeah, same doors
door
over there.
is a classy door.
And there are so many meetings that were done actually here, but the last meeting is that one on that photo. That is an actual photo that was captured in the 1800. And there is a conversation between the Omani Arabs on the left and we have the British officers on the right. That was in the 1st of July 1895.
So these are Omani.
Yeah, those are all Omanis. So Omanis are mixed with also blacks over here.
Yeah.
That's like a black boy. He's
I
a
know.
black boy. Yeah. Most of the Arabs came and converted the blacks who were here into Muslims. Yeah. So he was a sultan, he was like the president, he had a palace at Zanzibar, but these are his governors. So whenever he wanted maybe to address a very important meeting, he used to call his governors. So they were negotiating something with the British. This is the same year that Jesus was given to the British. So these are their seats. But
Were these there? Oh, these are replaced.
But we copied the same art.
Okay.
And over here we have weapons that were used by the Arabs to defend themselves against the Portuguese forces. These are Omani Arab rifles. These are made in the 1600s. Some of them were made in the 1700s. And they are made of two materials. This is wood and the rest is silver metal.
Even
And
the
the bullets are
bullets?
made from brass metal. Yeah.
Okay.
And this one accommodated only 2 bullets at a time. Yeah.
Just to like this.
Yes.
If you run out,
this is
you run out.
renovated, but this is the original wall.
This is
This
the
is original wall, but this is renovated.
This is renovated.
This wasn't covered because of the writings over there. Those writings are on the wall. Yeah.
What do they mean?
We have the brief over here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have some other arms over here. Those are swords, the 2 knives, very long, and we have shields. This is a very small shield for protecting one hand when people are fighting with knives. And these are made from the rhino skin. Some of them were made from the rhinoceros horn, the horn. Yeah, so these were used during that war. And over here we have other arms. These are knives, very short. We call them kanjar. The name is here. It's a kanjar, Omani kanjar. So these are hooked. So if you take it out from the socket, it is hooked. Yeah, and this is a belt. They used to tie belts on the waist and support the knife there from falling.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And we have so many writings written in Arabic. These are verses that were taken from the Holy Book of Quran, and we still have a few teachings from the Holy Book of Quran. Yeah, so these were written by the same Arabs.
Okay.
This was probably in the 1600s, after they took over.
Wow.
Let them cover there. Right, so we can have a look at the museum.
This is the museum. So this is a new building.
This is renovations.
Oh, it was renovated to look like this.
So the renovation was done in October 1960.
Oh.
3 years before we got liberation. So these are grinding stones that were brought from the local kitchen from Goa, India. They were to grind different cereals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so this is where we are displaying our Kasese. So this is where we are displaying our artifacts. Yeah, definitely. So if you look at the front line over here, where we saw the waters, when the Portuguese were here, they were guarding that inlet. So they shot so many Arab ships over there. After the Arabs took over, they also shot the Portuguese ships that were sailing through there. So under the waters we have like 4 or 5 ships that were shot and sunk. There was an excavation that was done in 1977. So all these gadgets you're seeing here, these are treasures that were retrieved from the waters after that excavation was done. And these were taken out from the Portuguese ship that was shot by the Arabs. But these you see here, these are from the Omani Arab ships.
Okay. The ones at the back were taken from the ships. Portuguese ships that
these are from the Omani Arab ships.
These are from the Omani Arab ships.
You see?
Storage.
Yeah, and we're preserving it. It's a chair that was made for a governor, 17th century. So this is 300 years old.
What?
Yeah. The history is here.
Made in India in a Portuguese style.
The style was copied from the Portuguese, but this chair was made in India, and it was used by one of the Arab governors in Kenya. Okay, so welcome. This is our visitor book.
I sign here?
Yeah, so you can probably give us a comment. So these are some of the historical sites we have along the coast of Kenya. So down here we border Kenya and Tanzania, and this is the border between Kenya and Somalia. So this is Kenyan waters, and the whole coastline of Kenya is approximately 500 kilometers from the south to the north. And these are all historical sites. Today we are here. Fort Jesus is over there. If you follow that arrow, you will see Fort Jesus is within Mombasa Island. So Mombasa is a very small island over there. Yeah.
Guys, there is so much. I'm not going to be able to take you through everything in the museum, but I'll just show you a bit. Are these replicated?
These are they are duplicated. These are models.
Oh, models.
Yeah, models.
Okay.
So this is how the Omani Arab dhows looked like.
Oh.
Yeah, and these were the ones. These are the ones they were using to sail from their countries to East Africa.
Okay.
They were pushed by the monsoon winds. Yeah. So
There
some
is
of the
all
artifacts
these.
displayed over here, not all of them were excavated from the waters, but some of them were given out as donations by different merchants. Like we had Chinese over here. Some of these are Chinese, porcelain and ceramics.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a replica
So
of.
this is another gallery. These are people called Baluchi, the Baluchi people. They still share one umbrella with Indians. These are also Indians. And in the 1600s, when war was very tough over here, Arabs were sensing defeat. So some of the Arab officers went to Baluchi and hired Baluchi soldiers so that they can be assisted to flush out the Portuguese in Mombasa. So these are the soldiers that were hired by the Arabs from Baluchi to come and combine forces with Arabs to flush out the Portuguese. But still, some of these were shot by the Portuguese.
So they used to pay them?
Yeah, obvious. You cannot be hired free of charge. They paid them, obvious.
Okay.
So we are displaying their cultures over here.
The Baluchi.
This is Baluchi culture. These are some of their old manuscripts, old history mixed with religion. Yeah. These are some of their dressing codes, their daily games. This is like a game of playing. Some of their knives or whatever, dressing codes for girls.
Okay.
Okay, Baluchi is here. It borders Iran, Pakistan, Over here.
Oh.
This is Baluchi. So that's where those soldiers came from.
It's still a country up to now.
Yeah, it's a country. So Africa is here. This is the Horn of Africa. This is Somalia. Yeah, and this is the Gulf. This is the Red Sea over here. This is Arabian Sea. Then down we have the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are their bags?
So these are still some of their artifacts. Yeah. Some decorated bags if somebody wants to carry like money, jewelries. Yeah.
Yes, I'll just give you a glimpse. If I show everything, you'll not come. And I need you to come.
They have to come. We're here waiting for them.
I know.
Yeah. Right.
So they came with women? How come the same
Okay, Baluchi came only men, but we are just displaying their cultures. These are just cultures.
Okay.
So this is how their women are put on. It's a very nice piece, but this piece is normally worn during wedding times. And it's really coated with metals. Out we have silver, some bronze, or even gold pieces. But these are not original. We cannot keep original gold over here.
Okay.
Those are fake.
Okay. Guys, the museum has so much to offer. If you come here, make sure you pass through. Here we are back to the outside. Are we now going to the legs?
Yeah, we are going to we are seeing the church. And then we're going to see the legs over there.
This is the foundation of the church.
Yeah, this is the Roman Catholic Church that was actually made by the Portuguese. But with the time, because the walls were not made very strong, and because of the bombardments that were shot by enemies from the Indian Ocean, some of the bullets were coming above the outer wall. This church was also hit by enemies. So it cracked with the time, it also collapsed. At the middle, these were like pillars supporting the roof from falling. So we had the entrance over there, and where we have the floor raised over there, that's where we had the altar. So the father used to stand and preach from there. Yeah.
Oh, it was a small church.
But, yeah, it was a small church because there is no incidents where all soldiers could converge into one room and pray. That's dangerous according to military strategies. Yeah. So we had a few who came and pray while others were guarding for security. Then they exchanged. Okay. So let's walk through here.
Is this tree new here?
No, this is a very old tree.
Oh.
It is called an Indian almond. So some of these trees were brought by these traders who are here. This was brought from India.
Okay.
Yeah, these are from India.
And is that part?
Yeah, now that is where we have our administration office. That's not part of the tour. We have the office of accounts, the curator's office.
Is it a new building though?
That is renovations.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a very old structure.
Okay.
Yeah. And behind here we had other quarters of the soldiers. These were like barracks.
Wow.
Yeah. Then this was the cistern for water for the Portuguese. This was dug up to 17 meters.
What's this?
It's an anchor for the ships.
So was this for the Portuguese or the Arabs?
This was for the Portuguese. Yeah, it is to regulate the movement of ships. If you want to stop on water, then you have to lower the anchor. It has to go and land on the ground. It will regulate the movement. So the ship will keep on swinging over there. If you want to proceed, you have to pull it out and put it in the ship and proceed with your journey. So that was really eaten by rust. So Arabs came here and dug their own well after they suspected poison from the Portuguese well. So this went up to a depth of 23 meters. In terms of feet, that's 76 feet. But Arabs got very sold to water because of the Indian Ocean.
Yeah.
And it's open. You can even see the depth. Come through here. Yeah, go up through here and have a look. It's open. Okay. Yeah. So that's the Omani Arab well, 23 meters deep. And they, all right, they got very salt water.
Down there. Wow. I wonder what they used. People of long ago are so creative.
Very creative. Okay. Mine the ground. Okay, come here. Let me show you something.
Yeah.
Come through here. So these were open air sitting toilets for the Portuguese officers.
Open air.
Definitely. So if the officers were out of their barracks, they used to come here.
Sit.
Some of them were seated over here, waiting for each other. A guy could sit over here in this position
and does his business.
Yeah. You do your business. If it comes hard, then you have to brace yourself like that. Everything goes on ground.
What? It would go on the ground?
Just out of the building.
Wow.
And then over here, there was a very small container for water. If somebody's done, you take that water and pour and clear off the waste to the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, so these were just open air toilets.
Okay. Guys, the name open air. It's in the open. Okay, at least they had toilets to sit on from way
Another
back.
toilet used to be here. This is another toilet.
You also sit?
Yeah. You have to come up and sit here, and then you drop something here. Then you take the water and flush everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Indeed, this kind of life would be managed by men because
Definitely.
I know, like women sitting there. And No.
Okay, mind your head. Come and we have the grave here.
Ah.
The grave. Okay, so this is one of the Portuguese priests who was shot by the Omani Arabs and killed. Look at the head. This was smashed with the bullets. Imagine nobody knew whether we had a grave over here until January 1990, just the other year, not so long. So one of the groundsmen was working over here. So by good luck, that guy came and he was sweeping. So he came and scratched something like a very shiny metal on ground. After he pulled it out, it was a fingering made from a very worthy metal. So what came to his mind was money. So he secretly never told anybody. He hid that ring and he went to the store and brought out a tool. So he came and started excavating over here because he thought probably there could be other things buried, and where he found the first one. So after striking the ground like 3 times, he broke a hole. But after peeping through the hole, he was actually shocked. It was an open grave and there was a full skeleton of a human body buried in a Christian style. Yeah, this is what they found. But
So
later,
when he was shot, he was buried well.
this was buried in the 1600s. Yeah, and the discovery was made later. But whatever you are seeing, this is not the original skeleton because of respect. The original skeleton was reburied 1 meter below, but this is a duplicate that was made by the museum.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was made later.
For demonstration purposes. There's a bit of a drizzle, guys.
So now, come and have a look at the dispensary or the hospital.
Oh, this was the hospital.
Yeah, this was the hospital, though there is no medicine anymore. But this is where they had a dispensary.
Okay. Do you think it's going to rain?
It could be, because we've been receiving rain.
Since I came, imagine.
So out over here, these are all trees called neem trees. Neem. And these trees are very famous for treating 40 diseases, but they are more effective on malaria. They treat malaria very well. The Swahili word there is a Swahili word we have for them. They are called muarubaini. So arubaini means 40. So we believe they cure 40 diseases, but they are more effective on malaria.
That's why they're called muarubaini.
Yes. So if anybody has the symptoms for malaria and you don't have money to take yourself to the hospital, take the leaves, boil them, get something like tea, spare 3 days.
Bitter.
Very bitter.
I think we've had
Very
this
bitter.
tree at home
A
before.
cup in the morning, afternoon and evening. After 3 days, malaria goes off completely.
So are people allowed to pick these leaves?
Somewhere else, but not here. These are under the museum.
Okay.
These are under the museum.
Okay.
All right.
Muarubaini.
Yeah.
This is a demonstration? Okay.
So these are models of the Omani Arab dhows also. This was just made here.
Okay.
So this is the Omani house, named later by the Arabs after they took over, but this was particularly the dispensary or the hospital for the Portuguese.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we are displaying a few historical photos about Kenya and Oman. We gave an opportunity for the Oman embassy to renovate this structure. So they later took advantage and displayed their history. So I think these things are here for a time limit. Probably after some time they'll be taken out of here. These are spices. Yeah. Those are spices, yeah. We have incense, we have dried dates, we have lime dried, we have cloves, we have cinnamon, we have cardamom, and we have the pepper, the black pepper. So these are all from, most of them are from India and Zanzibar, and some are from the Indian Ocean Islands.
Okay.
And these are all sultans who served Zanzibar. Yeah. Even Mombasa.
But why is it that the ones who served Zanzibar are displayed here in Mombasa?
Mombasa was part of Zanzibar. Mombasa wasn't part of Kenya. This was an independent country.
Mombasa was an independent
Definitely,
country.
but after Kenya got independence, now the coast of Kenya was combined with Kenya by the British through some treaties that were signed of 50 years. So after the 50 years were over, then Kenya and the coast was officially to be divided. But they cannot, because you know Kenya is getting something from
All these pictures we can find is
the coast has a lot. The bread comes from there.
The bread.
Yes. You see the seaport. The seaport is a major boost of the Kenyan economy. Okay. So these are dressing codes for the
Oman women.
Omanis, particularly the women, and we have their jewelries over there. Yeah, those are jewelries made from silver. And those are the Omani Arab soldiers. So that was like a dressing code for the officers. It's a military combat. But later they redesigned the combats in other styles. So this is left for religion.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what Omanis do. They have a port also in Oman. They have a greenhouse. Their medical system is also improved. Infrastructure. Oman is one of the richest countries probably
Very rich.
in Asia.
Very, very rich. So outside is beyond the port.
Yeah, definitely. So you can see how the corals were dug. That is carving. So these are Kenyans who did this, cutting the corals.
Were they paid?
They were paid with food, not money. So we feel our people were subjected to indirect slavery.
I know.
Yeah.
Paid with food is what?
Definitely, our
Nothing.
people really suffered, and those who died, not all of them that were given back to their families for proper burials. Some of them probably were thrown into the waters, or they were buried secretly. Yeah, because we've been discovering graves here and there. Yeah, just last week we discovered a grave. It had 2 people. So
Wow.
yeah, let me show you something.
Imagine burying people. Burying 2
That is
people.
how they did it. That is how things were done.
The history can be good to know, but it can also be
Sometimes
depressing.
it can be very bitter.
Yeah.
History is very bitter. You see, we found this just
Can I
last,
show?
just last. Yeah, why not?
Just last week.
Just last week.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, this is what we found last week.
Meaning for the time this fort is here, people are going to keep discovering things.
For Jesus is a place you can make a discovery anytime, because there were people who were buried here randomly.
Wow.
And yeah.
Guys. History
We have
for
a lot,
you.
yeah, we have a lot.
So much.
Yes.
Anyway, it's a nice tour.
So these are some of the Omani Arab officers. This is another watchtower. And this was a bit extended, but the original heights were Portuguese made. Portuguese were dwarfs, so they kept their doors very. Can you see?
Yeah,
This was
yeah,
extended, eh?
yeah.
It was stretched.
So it was extended by the Omans.
By the Omanis. He's an Omani officer. There's a rifle, and
It's always the issue of height funny to me.
yeah, that is how the Portuguese were. And this is also the current Oman. That's the current Oman. So Omani is a good producer of copper, metals, basically different metals, copper, silver, and those green is those are dates,
Oh,
date palms.
okay.
Yeah, they export a lot of dates. You as you can see. And Omani is a country full of hills, rocks. Yeah.
Okay. Are these Portuguese? These are Oman.
This is Omani cannon, but this was just brought recently. Yeah.
Oh, to represent.
Yeah, definitely. This was brought just 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, to show how the Omani cannons looked like. Humpback whale.
Humpback whale.
Yeah, it's a humpback whale. So in the Indian Ocean, we actually don't have whales. Most of these are found in the Atlantic Ocean. But this one came at around 1992. And as you know, whales cannot survive under salt water.
Oh.
So this came and overstayed in this ocean, and because of the salt we have here, he was affected. He died. We just found him dead on a beach early one morning.
In 1990.
That was 1992.
Okay, but wait. You say whales can't survive in salt water, so the Atlantic Ocean is not salt.
Atlantic is a freshwater ocean, not that much fresh that you can even fish and drink, but if you compare it with the Indian Ocean, Atlantic is a bit fresh, but the Indian Ocean has terrible salt.
So salty.
So we have the saltwater oceans and we have the freshwater ocean. We have the freshwater fishes and the saltwater fishes. Most of the ones we have here, we have sharks. Yeah, but whales are found in the Atlantic Ocean.
So there are sharks in the Indian Ocean.
We have a lot of sharks in the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
So this one came that time, probably, I think it followed a ship from that side to the Indian Ocean.
And just died here.
After we saw it, it was uplifted by a tractor. It was buried somewhere for 2 weeks. The fiber rot, then later the bones were taken to laboratory to avoid with chemicals for preservation and brought up here. So this is not part of the history about for Jesus. This is just like a spice.
Okay.
Yeah. So this
Spice.
is big, but it is a baby whale. This is it's a juvenile. It's a baby whale.
What?
Whales live up to approximately between 80 to 100 years.
Hey.
This is only between 19 to 24 years. Not
So it was a teen.
Come and light up this one here. Juvenile is kid. Yeah. It's only a 48 feet juvenile.
Male humpback whale. 1992 is so early.
1992.
It is said to be a young adult whale of about 19 to 25 years. Imagine the one of 100 years.
Definitely.
To be way bigger. Oh, is there more for us to see?
Yeah, this is now these are the humpback whales. So probably this one is the kid on top of the parent. Yeah. There are so many species of whales. We have the blue whales, we have the killer whales, we have the humpback whales. Yeah.
Guys, this is what the bullets look like.
It's heavy. Be careful. Yeah. Yeah. So those are the bullets for the cannons. We call them cannon balls. And
How did you manage to carry one? Because
They were short, so how were they carried?
yeah. Two hands, and separate your legs, please.
How many kgs?
That is now 12 kilos. But if you get an original bullet, they weigh up to 15 kilos. But that one was interfered by rust. It is 12 kilos. So once fired by the Portuguese weapons, the range was 200 meters and they never exploded. They were to hit the sides of the dhows and break them.
So they would go and collect them back.
No. Once one is fired, it dished into the ocean. Yeah, so they were not reusable. Unless if it lands on land, you can take it back. Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, this is so heavy.
Okay.
Can I put it back?
Yes, put it
If I'm
back.
careful.
Put it back. Pole, slowly. Right. Okay. That's it.
That we put. So are these the real ones or replicas?
Those are bullets, real bullets.
Oh, the real ones they use.
Yes, those are real bullets.
Wow. We've just transported
You
ourselves.
see
to
that
the
one on the ground has another bullet.
century.
That one has another bullet.
Even this.
Even this one here. Those are bullets. Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of the weapons, we have we don't have actually duplicates. We have
Weapons
original
are
cannons.
original.
Yeah.
Nice. Guys, on the outside of Fort Jesus, there is a craft market. This is what it looks like.
So that's the height of the building.
So tall.
So ahead of us, from where the ground is up to where the wall started, that's a piece of coral. Meaning that...
So they would start building from where the coral is?
No, that was the height of the coral. So they dug the coral going deeper. Yeah, so where we are walking now was high. So these corals were removed and they are the same corals that were used to build the strait.
Okay. What's that monument?
Was this covered by water?
Which one?
This area.
Yeah, in the past, but those are so many years ago. Yeah.
That one?
Yeah. So this is a pillar that was made to remember the commander of the men who stood up with rifles in Mombasa and defended Mombasa against the other attackers, like the Germans who wanted probably to take over Mombasa. Yeah, during the Great Wars.
Okay.
Germans wanted to take over Mombasa in the First World War and in the Second World War. But we had officers here who stood very firm with rifles. They defended Mombasa.
British officers?
Yeah, British officers.
Yeah, they wanted Mombasa for themselves. Would you want to share your number so that if anyone comes here, they specifically look for you?
What's that, my number?
Yeah.
So hello. Once again, welcome to Mombasa, Kenya. We are now at Fort Jesus. We've done the tour of the fort and we are now from the old town. My name is Anthony Kahindi. As I told you from the beginning, if you want to come and visit Mombasa, call this number 0720-510-843. Let me repeat it. 0720-510-843. That's Anthony. Call for the best tours.
Is it on WhatsApp?
It is on WhatsApp.
Okay, so even international people can
You can
get
even text me via WhatsApp.
Okay.
Right. Welcome.
Are you filled with all the history? Do you feel like you're from a history class? At least I feel like I am. I've not showed you everything. Like I always say, the camera cannot translate what you'll see when you come in person. Plus, of course, I'm going to edit this video, so I'm going to cut out a lot of information. So just start planning your trip to Mombasa, and if you come, definitely pass by Fort Jesus. You love the history. I was doubting, but now I know that I needed this. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in another one. Bye.